As a young boy, I would be awakened every summer morning by the smell of Big Mama preparing my favorite meal of the day, breakfast. The smell of homemade pancakes and thick-cut bacon, sometimes with the rind still in place, y'all. Buttered biscuits and scrambled eggs that were gathered from our evening visit out to the chicken coop. See, she would warm my belly and tell me stories about how excited my daddy would get when he was a young boy and smelled the same smells that I experienced on those early summer mornings. See, Big Mama had become daddy to me. And even though my daddy was her son, she had taken on the responsibility of being the loving one. And as I stand here now, I reminisce about the days that my daddy wasn't around and how the mere mentioning of his name would simply turn my smile into a frown. And how every time I was reminded that I sound like him over the telephone, I would consciously change my tone from bass to baritone. See, I reminisce about the skeletons that got all so comfortable in my closet as a young man to a full-grown man. Like the many nights that I shed a tear because you weren't there to protect me, Daddy. I mean, maybe he would have never touched me. And maybe I would have never had to watch my mother be verbally abused. Do you hear me, Daddy? If you were there to protect me, then maybe I would have never had to watch my mother be verbally abused. See, he would call her a bitch and a whore, and me, he would simply call me a faggot with the greatest ease. Because I chose art over the football field, and because I chose poetry over hanging out in the streets with Kendrick and them. Yeah, that's what he would call me, a faggot. Maybe I would have never had to hear those things, and maybe I would have never had to live my life in shame, and maybe you could have been more like my hero Big Mama had become to me. Maybe. Oh, but as I stand here now, I'm here to declare to the world that the process of healing has began, and the seeds that the devil tried to plant in me have dried up and began to disintegrate up under the sun. Oh, because I love me, and Mama loves me, and Big Mama loves me just the same. And see, together they taught me how to dream in French and how to speak in color, how to explore new worlds and not be bothered by the subtle tortures of my mind. See, they planted new seeds in me, seeds that have began to grow and sprout, seeds that were planted with love and not shame. So as I stand here, I stop and I pause and I reminisce, and I think about the many days in the past and the days to come. I think about the young children and the many more children to come, and I think about their healing and their understanding that there is a leader that lies within. And so as I stand in front of all of you, I ask for you to do the same. Stop, pause, and breathe for healing. Stop, pause, and breathe to ease the shame. Stop, pause, and breathe again and again. Just breathe.
find true love. Only wounded souls did he touch. Bitter and confused men lost. One day he pulls up the history, pulls up a page with her son, smile. He walks in, she covers her findings. He smiles all the while, losing hope. The sun that she burned, tainted in love. Winter has come, hearts become cold. The tears of your son, it's the flaw. Well, you don't have to love me, and you don't have to care. I tried and now I won't hide. Oh no, so you don't point and stare, so you can deal with what I carry for 25 long years. And all of the while, the tears of a child hit the floor. And all of the while, the tears of a child will fall no more. And if they do, the tears of a child will be caught by the Lord. He finds God among many believers, too proud to cry. God touches his tear ducts. Legs won't bend, yet he falls at the altar, praying, oh God, heal my soul. Asking him why my heart won't choose her. Winter has come, hearts become cold. The tears of your son, it's the flood. Well, you don't have to love me, and you don't have to care. I tried and now I won't hide. Oh no, so you don't point and stare, so you can deal with what I carry for 25 long years. Yes, and all of the while, the tears of a child hit the floor. And all of the while, the tears of a child will fall no more. And if they do, the tears of a child will be caught by the Lord. It better, everything will get better. With all my trust in him, everything will get better. Everything will get better. Trust in him, everything will get better. Said I believe you, oh Lord, things will get better. I just want you close, babe, where we could stay together.